Candace Owens really doesn't understand Judaism at all. She thinks religious Jews see the Old Testament in the same way that Christians do and doesn't realize that Judaism interprets the Bible through the distorting lens of the oral Torah, of the Talmud, Midrash, and Kabbalah, which separate Jews and Gentiles into two distinct types of souls, which exist in two completely separate universes: the supposedly evil other side of the Gentiles, the Sitra Achra, and the supposedly holy side of the Jews, the Sitra de Kadosha. Jews have always known that the Bible hides the core beliefs of Judaism from the Gentiles and cannot be properly understood without the detailed explanations provided by the oral Torah, which was kept secret from the Gentiles and only transmitted by word of mouth from one generation of rabbis to the next for many centuries. Jesus referred to the oral Torah as the traditions of the scribes and Pharisees in Matthew chapter 15 and Mark chapter 7, verses 1 to 13. The Pharisees and some of the teachers of the law who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus and saw some of his disciples eating food with hands that were defiled, that is, unwashed. The Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they give their hands a ceremonial washing, holding to the tradition of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash, and they observe many other traditions, such as the washing of cups, pitchers, and kettles. So the Pharisees and teachers of the law asked Jesus, "Why don't your disciples live according to the tradition of the elders instead of eating their food with defiled hands?" He replied, "Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you hypocrites. As it is written, 'These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. You have let go of the commands of God and are holding on to human traditions." And he continued, "You have a fine way of setting aside the commands of God in order to observe your own traditions. For Moses said, 'Honor your father and mother,' and 'anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death.' But you say that if anyone declares that what might have been used to help their father or mother is korban, that is, devoted to God, then you no longer let them do anything for their father or mother. Thus you nullify the word of God by your tradition that you have handed down, and you do many things like that." Oral Torah is far more important in Judaism than the Bible, it explains. The Jews believe that the Bible is mere water, the Mishnah wine, and the Shaz or Gemara of the Talmud is spiced wine. But the true Torah is Kabbalah, and its most important principles, beliefs, and plans are never written down. The oral Torah of the scribes and Pharisees was later partially written down in the Talmud, Midrash, and Kabbalah long after the destruction of Jerusalem and the Temple in 70 AD. Because the rabbis sensed that there was a danger that their knowledge of it would be lost, and they would then not be successful in their war of extermination against the Gentiles. But the deepest, darkest, most alarming aspects of the belief system remain carefully guarded secrets that have always only been spoken in private between trusted masters and students of oral Torah, and never written down. Whenever the truth has leaked out to the Gentiles, as it did through Gnosticism and Christianity, they invariably deny the facts and attempt to obfuscate the issue and slander anyone who discloses what they believe to the non-Jewish world. In Pro Flacco, Cicero documented their pernicious and treacherous group behavior in ancient Rome, and the Book of Esther serves as their war manual on how to turn Gentile governments into genocidal weapons against anyone who exposes the Jews' true and hidden intentions, as Jesus did, and was then handed over to the Roman authorities who were corrupted by the Jewish mob and high priest. Contrary to Candace Owens' apologetics, this has always been how they operate, how they treated Christ, what they are doing now, and how they can reasonably be expected to act in the foreseeable future. Candace is seemingly unaware that Judaism has always and only taught that evil is created by the God of Israel, not Satan, and that evil serves a good purpose. Kabbalists maintain the oral tradition that evil is not only inherently good, it is even better than what the Gentiles conceive to be good, because evil men prosper while good men fall easy prey and fail. Their interpretation of good and evil is known as Jewish dualism, which is, and always has been, standard Judaism. It is repeated many times in the Old Testament, which was always interpreted in this way. The belief that evil is good is standard and original Judaism, not anything new or heretical, though Christians have been taught that the Jews' Satan is the enemy of God, as opposed to the original and current Jewish view that Satan is God's servant. Jewish dualism is based on numerous Old Testament passages which state that the gods of Israel create good and evil, and that both good and evil serve man and the gods. And the person who does not make use of evil is a fool and becomes easy prey for others. Jewish dualism, which manifests itself in Jewish dualistic morality, which treats Gentiles as if enemies to be abused and executed, and fellow Jews as a united and mutually sustaining and loving tribe, is expressed in several Old Testament books, including Ecclesiastes 7:15. In this meaningless life of mine, I have seen both of these, the righteous perishing in their righteousness, and the wicked living long in their wickedness. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Isaiah 59:15-16. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. And he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness it sustained him. Lamentations 3:38. Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good? Job 12. And Job answered and said, No doubt but ye are the people, and wisdom shall die with you. But I have understanding as well as you. I am not inferior to you. Yea, who knoweth not such things as these? I am as one mocked of his neighbor, who calleth upon God, and he answereth him. The just upright man is laughed to scorn. He that is ready to slip with his feet is as a lamp despised in the thought of him that is at ease. The tabernacles of robbers prosper, and they that provoke God are secure, into whose hand God bringeth abundantly. But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee, or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. Who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord hath wrought this? In whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind? Doth not the ear try words, and the mouth taste his meat? With the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days understanding. With him is wisdom and strength, he hath counsel and understanding. Behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. Behold, he withholdeth the waters, and they dry up. Also he sendeth them out, and they overturn the earth. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. He leadeth counselors away spoiled, and maketh the judges fools. He looseth the bond of kings, and girdeth their loins with a girdle. He leadeth princes away spoiled, and overthroweth the mighty. He removeth away the speech of the trusty, and taketh away the understanding of the aged. He poureth contempt upon princes, and weakeneth the strength of the mighty. He discovereth deep things out of darkness, and bringeth out to light the shadow of death. He increaseth the nations, and destroyeth them. He enlargeth the nations, and straighteneth them again. He taketh away the heart of the chief of the people of the earth, and causeth them to wander in a wilderness where there is no way. They grope in the dark without light, and he maketh them to stagger like a drunken man. Job 20:29. This is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the heritage appointed unto him by God. Jewish law compels Jews to lie to Gentiles, deceive them about Judaism, and to murder non-Jews who study Judaism. In order to justify their pre-existing desire to exterminate the Gentiles, the authors of the Torah crafted the myth that the Gentiles, they're referred to as Esau, seek to exterminate the Jews, in this instance called Jacob. Genesis chapter 27, verses 41 and 42. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Having fabricated this myth which scapegoats Gentiles for Jewish bloodlust, the Talmud calls upon Jews to kill off the Gentiles first to prevent them from ever exterminating the Jews. Tractate Sanhedrin, folio 72, A. In the Torah stated a principle: if someone comes to kill you, rise and kill him first. The Kabbalistic Zohar 1:138a states that the commandment is to completely kill off the Gentiles first and exterminate them before the messianic era of the world to come. Olam Haba commences so that there will be no Gentiles left alive in the Sabbath millennium, which is about to start. Come and see. Since Esau was drawn after that serpent, Jacob dealt with him tortuously like a serpent who is cunning, as is said. Now the serpent was sly. Genesis 3:1. Cunning. Jacob acted toward him like a serpent necessarily, to draw Esau after the serpent, so that he would separate from him and have no share with him, in this world or in the world that is coming. We have learned, if someone is coming to kill you, anticipate and kill him first. The Mossad's dark motto that the Jews wage war on the Gentiles by means of deception derives from the Zohar 1:160a. Rabbi Hizkiah said, "Certainly so. Happy is one whose share is firmly rooted in the good side, who does not incline to the other side but is saved from there." Rabbi Yehuda replied, "Certainly so. Happy is one who can be saved from that side. Happy are the righteous who can save themselves from them and wage war against that side." Rabbi Hizkiah asked, "How?" He opened saying, "For by stratagems you can wage war." Proverbs 24:6. Which war? The war against that evil side, whom a human being must combat and overpower to be delivered from him. Come and see how Jacob strove with Esau on account of his side, outsmarting him, dealing with him as tortuously as necessary, in order to overpower him in the beginning and at the end, all fittingly. Beginning and end in a single pattern, as is written, Bekarati, my birthright, and later, Berkati, my blessing. Genesis 27:36. Beginning and end as one, corresponding to one another, to prevail against him precisely, befittingly. So happy is one who saves himself from him and is able to overpower him. Candace, if you would like to learn more about Judaism and Zionism, please contact Christopher John Bjerknes. He is the world's leading expert on these subjects. You can find his books at CJBBooks.com.